Welcome to the evening edition of Adult Relaxation Radio, where dreams sometimes come true and values are sometimes temporarily lost. Tonight, La Chocolate Box presents The Encounter. This short story is for the grown and sexy only, so tuck in the kids, get a glass of Moscato, and get comfortable. The Encounter. The encounter was magic. There was no other way to describe it. When looking back on the details, a smile calmly stains her face. She stares off into the distance, daydreaming the recent details of what could only be symbolized as surreal. He came through the night before and has left her this morning with a warm glow, enveloping her being, interlocking itself into her soul. This was the first night they had spent together, and she was in no way disappointed. This potential love of her life kissed her hand as he entered the doorway. He stared at her features in fascination that he could have such a lovely lady by his side. She too stares at the life that leaps in his eyes, the softness in his smile, at his handsome face. She studies his lips as she runs her hand along his masculine jawline, for this feature is her favorite part of him. With just her eyes, she smiles in his direction and leads him to the bedroom. As they enter this area of possibilities, he takes in the erotic undertones. He hears soft, sensual music. His nostrils are filled with the scent of aromatic jasmine candles. There is a sensation of strong emotion in the air, one of new love. Grabbing her gently by the back of the neck, he reaches for her hair. Releasing the sexy updo she has fashioned just a few short hours ago. Her hair, he thought, would need to be free-flowing, as he will want to pull on it just a bit as he pleasures her. He now grabs her waist, pulling her body towards him, this so she can feel his growing lust. He needs her to know exactly how much he wants her. In feeling the heat emanating from his body, she gets a full understanding. They kiss passionately, all the while touching and rubbing and tasting one another. He tenderly lays her down on the bed, pulling apart her satin robe to display her curvaceous womanly frame. Her skin is that of hot chocolate with very little cream and is adorned in an antique white lace panty set embroidered with beautiful flowers. He quietly laughs as he thinks to himself, my. As he looks upon her, he begins to remove some of his clothing, leaving just enough of himself covered to pique her feminine imagination. He wants to feel her petite, warm touch as she undresses the rest of his much larger frame. He wants her to see what he has in store for her. He wants her to accept his gift, a gift of erotic pleasure, one of amorous alight. His manhood seems to have a mind of its own as it begins to swell and expand. He is amused at her reaction and notices both apprehension and as well desire all over her face. With the sweet touch of his hand to her hip, she is made to feel desirable. His curious tongue now explores her offerings, explores her once secret hot spots. After what seems an exquisite eternity, his lips, sweet lips, perfect in symmetry, finally come up from air. He plants a kiss to her forehead. She closes her eyes, fingers interlock, his masculine composition together with her feminine charm. The two beings intermingle in one symbolic cotton sheet. Time stands still as he holds her tight, then takes her. In a way that a hungry man takes his last meal, he takes her. As if the earth itself was foretold to fall from the sky that very moment, he takes her. as if no other woman has ever existed on this planet. He takes her, and she deeply receives him in just the same fashion. Unified bodies bond and become one vessel, making up for all the disappointments the loves lost, all the failed attempts to produce what this moment has with perpetual ease. Lost in each other's clutch, this fully charged, integrated flesh and lust vessel explodes in unity and then slumps harmoniously. Sticky with sweat, satisfied and breathless, overwrought with exhaustion, each entertaining a profound sense of fulfillment from the other. Yes, at this very moment, she feels beautiful. He feels connected. Satisfaction personified 1,000-fold. She watches as he falls into a love-drunken slumber. She watches as he sleeps and eventually joins him in reliving those memorable moments. She finds herself fighting the urge to squeal with unrelenting, incessant delight. Yes, this encounter was exceptional. It was unforgettable. It was magical. There was no other way to describe it. This concludes tonight's broadcast of Adult Relaxation Radio. Tune in next time for another sizzling tale, one that will make your heart flutter, your mind wander, and be sure to get your juices flowing. Good night.